This narration is for educational purposes only. It is not buy or sell recommendations. Good morning, fellow ES traders. This weekend deep dive, I want to title it Looking Left. And I want to talk about volume profile and how important it is, different strategies that you can implement. So this is Bookmap. It's got the MOB bundle with the icebergs, which is the iceberg is big desk institutional traders sometimes want to hide their order. If they have a big order of going short or going long, whatever, they don't want to put it on the limit order book because it could signal to other algorithms to trade against them, get them underwater to pick their stops. Now for us retail traders, this is a powerful tool because it's showing these green circle are buy stops. So it could be, it's a kind of like Delta, it's an aggressive order, or you have the passive and market orders. So it could be shorts pulling their stops, the buy stops, and then of course sell stops, longs getting stopped out. But something with volume profile is these areas here are low volume nodes. So price wasn't auctioned in these areas versus a high volume node like this where price was auctioned heavily at this price. So we go up, we go down, and you can see it over here. Go down, create a low volume node, counter rotate to the middle where the high volume is, break out, and if we go back down, cut through, and do this, we're in mean reversion. So it's a two-sided trade. We're not going down trending or up trending. Like this could be considered a micro trend. But when we're seeing this rotation, those are the areas you want to look for if we're above, and especially if you have confluence. Yesterday's high and naked VPOC, micro composites VPOC. If we're nearing that area, low volume node up here, and a confluence, a high ETH like that, there's a potential of mean reversion for price to go back down and test this high volume area, the VPOC, volume point of control, where the highest volume has been traded at that particular price. So it's all in context too. We were just talking about it in chat of a scenario where price was below VPOC, steadily climbing up, and it was nearing a low volume node. And someone asked why that, if I took that short, eventually they got stopped out. And in hindsight, it's easy to talk about, and you should have done this, but the location of it was kind of on a price was already going down. So for me personally, that would be my thought was, I wouldn't short here, I'd short here. It gives you a better risk to reward. You short down here, and then you're a point away, but if you have a stop, whatever your stop is, but you have a better risk to reward, and for a pullback test and potential resumption down. Anyway, he was talking about shorting down here at a low volume node, which is a vetted trade, but in context, we were heading back up to VPOC in mean reversion, and above, looking left, it looked like this. There was a higher volume node that could have acted as a better resistance than, say, here. there's less volume traded here than here. So if these were flipped, or you can use this as an example. So you'd want to, if you had this above, there's a better chance of price being rejected here than here for the high volume node. He was actually wanting to short below at this instead of like up here at this low volume node. And in that particular scenario, there was a overnight mid above. So something to keep in mind. You're really going to look at the higher time frame context, which would be like zooming out, being like, okay, I can make a case here. There's an impulsive move down, so this created a low volume node, and we did have VPOC migration in this case, but we know there were sellers here. And even looking at the icebergs, I was looking at that before I started the video. We got 365 selling ice here, and then we get some buy stops. So these guys are, who knows, they might be trading on a higher time frame. We don't really know, but they didn't bail out. Some, but you can see the absorption here too. These buyers are getting absorbed by these sellers. So all this is saying something. Now, once again, we're in hindsight. This thing could keep ripping up. And eventually, who knows when it'd stop out or not. But in this particular case, if we're watching this in real time, and you're seeing these sell ice come in, 57 buy stops, so they probably got stopped out. They exited the position. Maybe they re-entered here. But we don't see any more buy stops. We don't see 300 buy stops going off. We see more selling ice, more absorption. These buyers are getting absorbed by these sellers. So that's saying something. And even in this case, we're 11, so this could be, mean reversion for sure. We're trading at VPOC, break above, seeing all this sell ice come in, not many buy stops. They're holding this trade, getting absorbed. All these buyers, I think their thesis, obviously they wanted to go up, but these sellers are like, no, I think it's going to go down. So you can see all this absorption. And we eventually curl over, test VWAP. Some buy stops there, but these areas too offer support, but that's mean reversion. We go up, curl down, test VPOC. In this case, we get VPOC migration, so now this acts as support. So if you have targets above statistic targets, like we go over with the investor or the RT, investor RT, those stats that are given for these areas being targets, being taken out. So if we see VPOC migration and we have range, this could be a potential long, not trade recommendation, but if we got a 5-point, 6-point range and there's a 90% chance we're going to take out the previous value area high, you have stats on your side. You have stats on your side, stop, you can put your stop below mid, VWAP, not trade recommendation, but having a plan is everything. Not just, if you're looking at this trending up and you just jump on right here thinking it's going up without having these tools to look like, oh man, there's some heavy selling ice. Buyers are getting absorbed by these sellers. I'm not going to get long here. Now, if we saw a bunch of sellers coming in, all these, 1,000 ice, 2,000 ice, and then all of a sudden 3,000 buy stops get triggered, there's a good chance this is going to squeeze. These shorts and this leg are going to get squeezed, and we will see resumption up. So if you see that, especially if it, like on a retest, and we find support, and then all that confluence. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is having that confluence, one or two. I mean, more than two, not just one, but two or more, 2, 3, 4, whatever, is going to give you a statistical edge in being right and correcting your thesis. As long as it's vetted, you got to go back and vet trades and find what works for you. But yeah, this volume profile is extremely powerful tool when it's used, and you have the patience and discipline, dedication to study and really look at order flow, volume profile, and these tools too, to help aid in your decision in whatever trade you want to put on. But the biggest thing is looking left. There's an impulsive move here. We know we have sellers, so let's pop a line right here. Now, if price comes back up, are those sellers still going to be there? Let's see. Now, we had VPOC migration, but you can see right here, I mean, who knows if it's the same sellers or not, but we definitely know at this price there were sellers. So depending on your trade plan, if you went short here, where's your target? Well, my first target would be VPOC. I wouldn't go short here, even though it did work. It's not to say it could bounce and rip up. Now, if we didn't have VPOC migration, we're still down 78s. Yeah, not trade recommendation, but I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that short. Take it short, mean reversion. Now, where's our support? Here. We're going to have support here at mid VWAP. They got retail traders trading down, looking for a bounce. Next level would be VPOC here. So we didn't get much support. Go down, test previous VPOC here. That'd be your next one, or the opening RTH. Find support. And at this point, we've fallen below VWAP. Potential long back to VPOC and mean reversion. I don't get it. Now we do see some tests. This is interesting. So once again, hindsight, but we're creating this micro distribution, this area of high volume. So now we have a distribution. We have a lower, an upper low volume node. Low volume node down here, and there's our high volume. Now we have a break, retest, failure, potential short here. Not trade recommendation, but those are the things you gotta be looking for. This is vetted short right there, and it worked out. You don't know, it's all random. You have no clue, but let's look. Stop above there. It's a perfect 2-point stop. And then what? Breakthrough, retest, find support, continue to VPOC, go long. Not trade recommendation, but very, very powerful stuff. So, all right, and let's not forget we're changing the ESH5. Be trading that tomorrow, Monday. So, see you guys tomorrow.